Hey, today I want to tell you all about my new gig I have at Schneider. This is an update from my last video telling you all how they dropped me from the bulk division. So without further ado, let's get started. So yeah, the title of this video is Pure Facts. I seriously don't think I could have gotten a better gig working at Schneider. Firstly, I want to walk you guys through my transition from bulk to dryvan, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on the gig itself. I'm not actually hauling dryvan trailers, but the account is considered dryvan. Just thought I'd say that to prevent confusion. Some of you might know already, I'd put in a request to switch gigs and rigs with the orange Mega. When you do this and confirm your transfer, you typically would have to work for another 2 weeks in your original division. It's the whole giving your employer a 2-week notice thing, but for me, it was 1 week because of my whole situation, I assume. I did not work that whole week, unfortunately. That following Monday, however, was the start of my training. I had to sit through a presentation with the OSRs about dry veining. Basically, learning how to handle low bridges now that I am 13.6 and no longer 12.6, basic safety, and moving tandems. However, moving tandems isn't something we can do with these dump trailers typically. Also learned about moving the fifth wheel, even though they said that's something I would rarely do and requires help. After I did all that, I'd got my hands on a truck. It was a smaller version of my former bulk sleeper, but it was dirty as a bitch on the inside and the front fender was hanging. Not only that, but it needed a jump start, and the trainers were telling me not to turn off the truck the whole time we were training in fear that it won't start back up. The first thing they had me do was pre-trip the truck, just showing the OSRs I know what I'm looking at and identifying messed up equipment. This was another extremely cold day, and my not minding the weather ass forgot to bring gloves. I had bought those insulated gloves from the Schneider shop, and they were pretty effective. After pre-tripping, I had to couple to a dryvan trailer. Not gonna lie, it felt weird. I didn't really know what would be a good reference to go off when trying to line up to couple. For bulk, I developed a decent reference where I'll line up the edge of the tires with the edge of the trailer fender. So one of the trainers gave me a reference which helped. It was basically like lining up the edge of the tires with these 3 vertical screws on the trailer. Forgot to mention there were 2 guys that trained me. Funny enough, one of the guys was getting trained how to train by the other OSR while training me. The guy that was training the trainer had a personality on him. The way he trained was sorta uptight, but I knew it was all in good nature. But I must say, the Schneider way of doing things throws me off sometimes when you do these road trainings. They want your ass to go like 5 miles per hour on every on-ramp and exit. And when turning, they want you to always stay in your lane of travel no matter if the road is clear or not. I know a lot of you probably like, duh, that's how you're supposed to drive. But my thing is, when you're hauling a long, big-ass 53-foot trailer, I should be able to use as much space that's giving to prevent hitting stationary shit that's on curbs and whatnot. They preach the button hook method a lot, but with hooking, you're also taking travel lane space from people coming from behind you on the left side anyway. So I really don't see the difference when making that right turn and going into the oncoming traffic lane a little. I know they really want you to stay in your lane of travel because if someone hits you and you're in their travel space, you're at fault. I figured the same can be said for button hooking, but I don't know. But that is an adjustment I'm working through now that I'm dealing with a longer trailer. I get done with the trainers Monday, and it's time for your boy to get to work. Sorta. Tuesday and Wednesday, I had to get on some Kevin Hart stuff and go on a ride along with an employee who drives for the account I'm on. It was basically for me to get a good grasp of what I'll typically be doing. From what I seen in the first ride along, I knew then I was going to love this gig. The shit was sweet as Obama tea. Just going to junkyards, getting loaded with scrap metal and taking it to the same customer every day. That's not even far. I think I mentioned in my last video how I'll be all over the Midwest, but that's not even the case at all. No bullshit, everywhere we go is within a 200-mile radius. It's paperwork that we fill out, but it's not extensive whatsoever. The guy who had took me on the ride along was extremely cool. Young dude who seems to enjoy his career. Thursday, I was assigned a truck, and for the most part, I just spent that day getting acclimated with it. I wasn't lucky enough to get something new, like the bulk truck I got. It's a day cab that has well over 200,000 miles on it, and you knew it had a previous owner. I'm talking Sparrow pizza boxes, Monster energy drink cans, pistachio shells, and the smell of the mirror freshener they left in there. The cherry one is trash, by the way, but the truck didn't seem to have any mechanical issues, so that was great. Everything looked and seemed just fine. So now my driving leader is ready to give ya boy an assignment. But first I need a trailer. On this account, you're assigned a trailer, which means we ain't picking up or dropping trailers. Sweet as hell, I know. But oddly enough, my driving leader that following Friday wanted me to drive another driver's truck to complete a load. He wanted me to do that because the original driver called off and at the time there weren't other trailers available to pick up. I also had the option to drop his trailer and hook it up to my truck, but to save a little time I just took his truck. He originally wanted me to pick up the trailer at the account's main facility, which is about 3 hours away. I had much rather had done that than drive someone else's truck. I wasn't feeling that at all, but for the sake of just getting work and getting a real feel of the job, it was whatever. I was able to pick it up the load, but was not able to complete the drop-off because time wasn't on my side. This is because earlier that day I was going through difficulties with my company number and communications, so I wanted to get that resolved, which I never really did. Also, my driving leader that day wanted me to hold out to see if I can cop a trailer, but as far as the load was concerned, I brought it back to the OC and got it ready for Monday. I was supposed to drop the loaded trailer and hook it to my truck to take it so I can get credit for the load, but I couldn't unhook the locking jaws from the kingpin. And even when I got help to pull to release the handle, it still didn't want to uncouple. Guess those dump trailers are built different, or if I had to guess, probably all the force the fifth wheel endures on a daily. Long story short, on Monday, communication fell through completely. Maintenance does not detach the trailer. The original driver drives off without the paperwork because I guess he didn't know the trailer was loaded. Forgot to mention I put the paperwork in my truck in hopes of maintenance having the trailer detached. Mind you, I let my leader know this via text message on Teams app, but whole time he had to attend some type of meeting in the morning, so he got the message too late, but we eventually get things back on track. The original driver comes to retrieve the paperwork from me, and I'm finally able to get my own trailer. I make the 3-hour trip to receive the trailer. When I get there, I go up to the office to see where exactly I go to receive my trailer, and the women in the office all looked scared to see me in the office for some reason. I don't know if it was because I wasn't supposed to be in there, my melanated skin, or what. But I go to the yard where I see all the trailers, just hoping it's decent with no problems. I got to it, and that was pretty much the case. It was indeed a go. Not gonna lie though, I got lost getting out of there. Not the facility, but the town I was in. I found myself going into tight roads and coming close to encountering low clearance bridges. It was pretty nerve-wracking for me. I just really wanted to make it back safely. If something were to happen, it would have looked pretty bad on my part. I absolutely need this gig. Can't provide any ammo for someone to do something to me. But once I got out of the town, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Got back to the OC and got my truck parked up for the next workday. So now at this point, I'm a full week in. I'm going to give you a rundown on my experience so far. So first off, this account is everything I want and need it to be. This is a dedicated home daily account, and it's so low stress, I don't even have to make appointments at precise times either. It's basically get done what you can in an 8 to 9 hour window. I would name drop the account, but I low-key want to be on some gatekeeping stuff. If you know, you know. But yeah, man, I never wanted to be OTR, and I never would want to be again, truth be told. It gave me a bad first impression when I was in bulk. I didn't really have too many issues as far as the truck equipment or drama with the DL, but the pay was demoralizing as hell. I know you all are thinking other OTR tanker companies will pay you great money, but imagine being gone 11 days at a time, hundreds of miles away from home, hauling hazmat shit that makes you a big DOT target, just to not even clear $1,000 in a week. Shit was an absolute scam. Schneider fucked up OTR for me, not going to lie. Only cool thing about it was seeing the different scenery, I guess, but dealing with different terrain made me uneasy. I honestly really just did OTR bulk to get me in the door, because that was all available at the time for me to train to get my CDL with the company. Glad I was able to get that experience regardless, of course. Because one day, being a fuel hauler would be nice, but for the time being, this gig will definitely do. I have no real complaints right now. My typical day is going out to a shipper, picking up scrap, taking it to the same customer, and coming back to the OC to go home. I don't do too much of anything as far as typical trucker shit. I'm not moving tandems, not playing with landing gears, or paying attention to my DOT clock for real. A lot of fat is trimmed, which I love. I'm given a task, I get it done, I go home, can't beat it. Oh, and weekends are off. But as you know, not everything is perfect. Some of the shippers don't have scales, so you might have to go to a cat scale yourself to verify your weight. They try to give you as much scrap as possible, so you want to make sure you're not overweight. If so, you might have to go back and get some taken out, or DOT might have a word with you. Also, with you going to these scrap yards, you're going to places that have lots of debris on the ground that can harm your tires. So you have to be careful with that. But the only thing I really dislike personally is having to be more aware of low clearances, especially driving in Chicago. It's a low clearance haven there. Definitely miss being 12.6 with the tankers. And speaking of Chicago, I had to go to the smallest scrapyard on this god-green earth there in the little village area. The scrapyard sat at the corner of the street, and in order to back up to get unloaded, you have to go into oncoming traffic from both sides. Just stressful. I never want to go there ever again in life. But other than that, the job itself is an absolute breeze. When I first got on the account, I thought the trailers we use were the dump-off hydraulic joints where you press a button to physically dump your trailer to unload. But that's not how it goes. Crane operators load and unload us when we pull up. All we do is open the door on the trailer. At most, it'll be like 40 minutes to get loaded and unloaded depending on the scrap. If you have mostly scrap cars, it'll probably be less than that. The place where we unload is pretty spacious too. It just might be a line of trucks there when you arrive. And this account had me get a CB radio. We use it to communicate with office personnel at the customer. I had to come out of pocket for it, but was reimbursed. So now if you stuck around this long in the video, I got a little treat for you. I'm going to talk about pay, which is indeed the cherry on the sundae for me on this account. It's one of the reasons I delayed this video a bit to see a full real check. I say real because with the training phase, I didn't get what I was really owed. But now I can tell you all this account really has me saying, what the fuck is an OTR bulk division? Like, bro, I basically got the same check I would have gotten in bulk working like 20 less hours and not even doing half the shit I was doing over the damn road. I can't give you guys an accurate breakdown right now because I can't check my stubs. I'm going through technical difficulties with my work email and the IT people are trying to fix it so I can access everything work related, including check stubs. But yeah, man, 900 after taxes isn't bad. Especially for Schneider. I know it's not crazy money, but at least it makes sense. I can say without question, this is what I want to do as long as I'm with this company. I think I heard someone say that dump truck drivers are the bottom feeders in the trucking industry, but I don't give a hot damn. I like catfish and shrimp anyway. Call me Shrimpy Hustles. Fuck it. But no, seriously, I don't get into all that my job's more important than yours stuff or titles, especially in trucking. Because most of us are only doing this because either our plan A's flopped or financial hardship. In my opinion, just having a CDL holds prestige no matter what you haul or the job you do along with driving the truck. We're the country's bloodstream. As long as you're satisfied with what you do and you're able to provide for the fam, all should be well. I'm just glad this account found me the way it did. The timing was so on point, especially when you consider that one of the qualifications was needing at least 3 months of experience. I truly feel blessed. I cannot, will not, shall not fuck this up. I just hope no random shit happens where the account gets extremely slow or somebody from Schneider on the account starts messing up to the point where they end the whole contract with us. Then I'll have to do some regional dryvan shit. At that point, I'll be pissed all over again, but let me not speak that into existence. With that being said, I'm going to end it there. Hope you guys do well in the future, be safe, and see you in the next one.